Hello friends, we are back again to work on our tiny moth. Today we are going to be working on our E section. So with my paper scissors, I'm going to cut out my E section, and then I'm just going to set the rest aside for now. And it's basically the mirrored image of the piece that we worked on yesterday plus the starburst. And then I'm just going to move everything else out of the way. I'm going to cut out my pieces, and so it is 3 background pieces, 1 moth antenna, and 1 starburst. We'll just get that right through, and then I will work on basting my pieces. Oops, that's right. And then these two are the same. So with my fabric scissors and my fabric, I'm going to cut out my pieces. This thread. I decided to go with the purple for my starburst. It felt pretty good there. I like that this works together. And I like that I finally get to use up my purple, because I wanted it in the moth piece, but I didn't feel like it fit. So here we are. We cut out my general size, and then I'm going to trim it down. So my piece is trimmed down, as you can see, and now I am going to notch my curves because it curves inward. It's a concave curve, and so we need to notch our fabric so it folds with the paper. There we are. You could see I put about 3 cuts in each, and I am just going to glue baste my piece right quickly. Oops, I glued my desk there, so that's fun. Okay, pick it up so I don't glue my desk as I glue my desk again. Yo dog, I heard you like to glue your desk, so you could glue your desk while you're gluing your desk. All right. Just a little bit there to keep that together. And there's our starburst. Fits right in like that. Actually, I think it goes like that. We'll figure it out. And then we are going to cut our moth piece. Again, I like the pink that was here. So I am going to try to duplicate that with this other side. Oh, look. That might work. Nope, that doesn't quite work. So we've got here will work. With my fabric scissors, I am going to cut around, go away, and then I'm going to cut precise. Out of the way. And then I'm going to glue baste my piece. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Just need to make sure my corners are round, which is a really funny sentence to say. And there we are. There goes another piece there, but that goes something like that. Okay, now for my background pieces. Oh, I just moved it out of the way. It's this. So I like to fussy cut these pieces, not the squirrel piece. So there we go. And with my fabric scissors, I'm going to cut around. Poor squirrel. And then we'll cut this piece out right away. Same plan. And then this one has a dramatic curve. So we need to make sure that we notch our curves there. And because this part is so thin, we're just going to trim down our seam allowance to a little bit of a tighter seam allowance. There we are. And we are going to notch that. And then we're going to notch this gentle curve one as well. One more right there. Okay. And then this scrap piece we could probably use right here. That looks good. Or just a little bit. Throw that off. Do. Okay, now we are going to glue baste my pieces. Okay, move those out of the way. And then we glue baste this little part down here and just kind of swoop through and use your finger to get the tip. That sounds dirty. There we go. Oops, goes that way. Ooh. This one I might trim down a little bit more. A little messy of a cut there. Okay, and then we are going to glue baste it. And again, I will use my fingernail here to just get the point pointy. And this one goes like that, right? Like that. Is that right? I like to do it this way, so I know exactly how my pieces are, and then I know for certain it goes that way. And we'll do this little peninsula out here. There we go. And then we'll do this side. All right. Now we have everything glue basted. Let's get our sewing started. Let's see here. It would make the most sense. Start here, down, up. I know it says in the booklet, but I don't have it next to me. I think no matter what, I'm gonna have to. Oh, I think it's here, around, up, and then I think I have to travel. I think I have to travel no matter what. Here's my thread. So I am going to cut some thread, and we switch scissors now to my thread scissors. And then we take our thread balm and we run it through a few times. Get it all nice and waxy. And then we just run it through our fingers. And I've made this so it's good for your hands and your thread. Everything's getting conditioned today. A little bit of moisture for your hands. A little bit of sewing in this time. I don't know the lyrics. Okay, and then we, like usual, struggle trying to get it in. That one wasn't too much of a struggle. Oh, look at that. I already got a knot. Ooh, girl. How did you knot yourself? There we go. All right. Even up my tails. Okay, I'm going to take my two pieces and they are lined up flat, side by side, like they want to hug each other or hold each other. Now I moved my dog ear out of the way. And I am just going to stick my needle through the back of my fabric. Just a little bit on each side. I think we got a knot again. This thread said, no thank you. Okay. And we are just going to continue on with our flat back stitch throughout all of our pieces. Can we see okay? Was that okay? Zoom in. I just worry now I'm gonna get a bunch of knots. Okay, it's not so bad. Listen, I just want to say the air outside is dangerous. The particulates are super high, so we are all breathing that inside air this week. But my neighbors have decided to hold a picnic outside, which just baffles my poor lungs. I don't know. I don't understand. But anyways, we are going to let the neighbors do their thing, and I will keep sewing. Again, I am using the flat back stitch to, oops, get my thread into a knot again. There we go. Not too bad. No knots yet. And if you could see, I am going through just the back of the fabric. And nothing is showing from the front. Oop. Not having good luck here. Did we get a knot? We did not. No knot. All right, here my seam allowance is a little generous, so I'm going to move it out of the way so I don't sew it into my piece. So I moved it out of the way. Take care not to sew through that seam allowance side. Ooh. I only do the flat back, and I've got a lot of videos. Sometimes they go a little fast, but the lives always show them off. It's just going through the back of your fabric and not through the front. And this works for curves. It's really hard to do the whip stitch, or really impossible to do the whip stitch on curved pieces. It's a big struggle. I just keep throwing that thing around. There we go. And we're going to move our dog ear back into place. Kind of flatten it back out. Did I just sew that on wrong? No, that's right. Ooh, there's almost a little panic there. And then we're going to line this piece up and sew that one on. Where am I? I'm down here. Through just the back side. Oh my goodness, this thread. And we're just going to keep going up to connect our pieces. And if you feel like they're a little wobbly or uneven, or you can't get them to lay flat, a good hot press under the iron will definitely help. And we're getting to the point here again where my seam allowance is, I guess it's going the right way here, so we don't have to move it. But if it was over, I would move it out of the way. I cut this part really close to the edge. So it might show from the beginning, or from the front rather. But when I finish the project, I'm going to back it in SF101, some fusible. And so that will keep all of my seams together and stop it from fraying to the front side. All right, we are almost to our edge here. Just a little bit more. All right. And now it's the starburst piece. Not too certain how it's going to sit in. I think right there. You can see I lined these up down here rather than trying to fit it in here. But I also think I have it this way because my smaller points. No, that's just how it is. Okay, that's just how it is, which would make sense. So I flip over, and again, they're side by side. None of my dog ears are in the way, so I don't need to move them. And I'm just going to push it through the back on each side. Pull my needle. It's always going to get stuck on that little ledge there. Ooh, there's a cat next to me. I just scared her. She's mildly offended. Who disturbs the slumber? The diamond in the rough. So I like this because it's just the same thing over and over again. Whoops. So in the beginning, it's a lot of trusting the process and knowing that everything you do is secure and good, and even if it's a little ugly in the beginning, and by the end, you're like a pro. And so these curves are really where the whip stitch would be hard to attach, because you can't exactly line up your piece like a whip stitch. And it would just have to be flat. So if you do anything with curves, they're flat next to each other. And I will have saved this video and then uploaded it to my YouTube as well. So you'll always have a video to surface back to. All right, we have one piece left. And like I was saying in the beginning, this one doesn't have a good way to enter from unless you want to start a whole new thread. I don't like doing that. So I am going to, oh, my battery's going to die. Oh boy, we should finish up then. What I like to do is travel my thread up to where the next piece is going to be connected to. This looks so silly, doesn't it? This piece is going here, so I'm going, my thread is here, so I'm going to travel it up to here. Oh, Oh, my thread is down there. My thread is not in the right spot. All right. We're just gonna attach these two pieces together then. As my last 5 minutes before my phone dies. The screen is dark, so I can't see anything on it. I do have a charger. Let's go get a charger. Alright, we've got a charger, and I didn't lose you guys.